A very good morning to all of you. I am Dr. Mohammad Harun, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering in TP University of Lucknow. So today I got the opportunity to carry on the session that is based on Internet of Things. Before me, Mrs. Kavita Agarwal ma'am, Halima Sadia, Dr. Halima Sadia, Dr. Mohammad Arif sir, they have given you a wonderful concept of Internet of Things. So today I am just going to carry on the remaining portion of Internet of Things, whatever the portion that I got for today's presentation from the organizing committee, Dr. Shri sir, Halima Sadia. So before the carry on the session, the question arises here: why the Internet of Things is so popular in these days? Why so many of people they are talking about Internet of Things? What are the importance of Internet of Things? Why we are so bothered about Internet of Things? The answer is only one line answer. Actually, Internet of Things we are using for advanced level of services, for high class of services. We require a different kind of network, and that network is known as Internet of Things network. So we much aware about computer network, like we are saying interconnecting devices, interconnecting machines, that is known as computer network. Computing machines and communicating machines are connected to each other by physical channel or by wireless channel is known as computer network. And in the domain of Internet of Things, we are going to make a different kind of network. The network is fully based on physical object. Means whatever the object we are seeing, we are looking, we are watching, we are using in our daily routine life, in our home, in our businesses, in our academic institutions, in our department, all kind of things, all kinds of objects is going to be integrated, is going to be converted into a network. So suppose as I have discussed, like in case of computer network, so as I already informed to you, as I already discussed, and we know very well, very clearly we know very well, the means suppose we have a several kind of machine, computer system, machine 1, machine 2 and machine 3. We have several kind of machines. Some machine is Pentium 4, some machine is Pentium 1, some machine is dual core processor. They are connected by physical channel. They are connected to each other by physical channel, by coaxial cable, by twisted pair cable, by unshielded twisted pair cable, optical fiber. So this kind of arrangement is known as computer network. Is known as computer network. If suppose we are connecting, we are making a network by means of wireless channel, like cellular network, the Bluetooth network, we are using wireless network for communication purpose, for computing purpose, for both purpose we are using wireless network, and we are using wired network also for both kind of purpose. And in the domain of Internet of Things, as I already discussed it, we are going to make a different kind of network. The network is fully based on physical object, like like for Internet of Things. Just for Internet of Things. As I already told to you, we are going to make a different kind of network of physical objects. Like we are using microwave, we are using microwave in our homes, microwave, we are using fridge, we are using AC, we are using TV, we are using like toothpaste, toothbrush, toothpaste, toothbrush, toothbrush, so many things we are using. In the domain of Internet of Things, what we are going to do? We are going to make a network of these physical objects. Means we are going to connect microwave to the fridge, fridge to the AC, AC to the TV, TV to the toothbrush, and TV to the lighting system. We are going to connect each and every physical object that we are using in our home, each and every physical object that we are using in the academic institution, each and every physical object that we are using in our businesses, each and every physical object that we are using in the transportation, in the railway system, everywhere, everything in the world, every physical object is going to be connected in a separate network, and that network is known as IoT. For IoT, we are going to make a different kind of network by physical object. But the question arises here, without socket, without endpoint, without the concept of processing, without the concept of intelligence, how the physical object is going to be connected? The question arises here. Means the question is how the physical object is going to be connected to each other. So for that we are using a separate technology that is known as embedded technology. By mean of embedded technology, by mean of information technology, embedded technology and information technology, we are going to convert the physical object into a smart physical object. Means we are going to integrate some kind of embedded chip, some kind of information processing thing in the physical object, and after that the physical object is going to be converted a IoT node, is going to be converted a node. So for making of Internet of Things, it is the fundamental thing is the physical object is the fundamental block of IoT. But how the physical object is going to be the part of IoT? By the mean of embedded chip, by the mean of information technology. We are going to convert the simple physical object into a IoT node by the mean of embedded technology and by the mean of information technology. These two things are going to be integrated in the physical object. So physical object is converted into a IoT node. Once the IoT node we got, then we can make a network. 90% of IoT network, 99% of IoT network is wireless type. Few of the IoT network is wired. Otherwise, more of the IoT network is a wireless type. So here in this PPT, I have discussed over here, Internet technology connect devices. Means computing devices like computer, like mobile phone, like things, machines and tool to the Internet by mean of wireless technology. Means 99% of IoT network is a wireless kind, Few of IoT network is a wired, otherwise 99% of IoT network is a wireless type. Means there is no physical communication channel. They are connected, IoT node are going to be connected to each other by means of wireless communication channel. So it is very clear here कि what we are going to do in IoT. We are going to make a separate network, we are going to make a new network, we are going to make a network by physical object. And how the physical object is going to be converted to the network, how the dumb terminal going to the part of the network by means of embedded technology and by means of information technology. We are going to plant an embedded chip inside the physical object, and we are also going to plant some kind of application in the embedded chip so that the dumb terminal, the useless terminal converted into a IoT. Right now I have got the static from Google. 9 billions of physical objects are the part of IoT, and in the coming time, in the coming future, more than 20 billions of objects, 20 billions of physical objects is going to be part of IoT. In the coming time, 20 billions. I'm talking about the globe. I'm talking about the entire globe, not in the India. Reason being, in India, this technology is actually the new technology, but across the UK and USA and Australia, the IoT is one of the baseline technology. They are using IoT for various kind of services. So 9 billions of physical objects that are already part of the IoT network, and in the future they have a plan to increase the size of IoT network, and it's going to be more than 20 billions of IoT node is going to be the part of IoT network. So the thing is, as I already discussed to all of you, each and everything is going to be converted into IoT. Here it is clearly mentioned, IoT network we are using for unification technology. As I already discussed with you, like fridge, AC, TV, cooler, everything is going to be converted into IoT node by the chip. And once the IoT network is created, then that particular network have the prime responsibility to unify all the different heterogeneous technology. It is used to unify the technology. Means some technology, some of the device is based on cloud system, some of the device is based on big data system, some of the IoT node is based on machine learning concept, some of IoT node is based on sensor network concept, some of the IoT node is based on the computer network concept. So once the IoT node is converted into a IoT network, then IoT network is going to unify all heterogeneous kind of thing into a homogeneous domain. Means it is going to unify the things. Like in computer network, we know very well, once the sender is going to send the packet and receiver receive the packet, then the packet have some kind of size. If we are using TCP IP protocol, then packet size is different. If we are using IP protocol, then packet size is different. If we are using UDP protocol, then packet size is different. So once the IoT node converted into a IoT network, then IoT network must have to follow all kind of principle, all kind of theories that is governed by IoT network. Means like in computer network there is a communication model, ISO SI communication model, TCP IP communication model, ATM communication model, X.25 communication model. So these kind of communication model we are using, IEEE communication model. So we are using the various kind of communication model in physical computer network. Similarly, once the IoT network we have, then we also have to use some kind of communication model. Every communication model have the policy, have the protocol, have the packet size, have the sending capacity. So whatever the principle of communication model, all the IoT node have to follow that particular principle. Means some IoT node is actually based on embedded technology, some of the IoT node is based on the cloud technology, whatever the technology that they are following. Once the node converted into a IoT network, then they have to follow the rule and regulation of IoT network protocol stack. The main discussion of unifying is only they have to follow the protocol stack of IoT. Now my next discussion is, I'll be removing what the things is written over here first. It is one of the important and trending topic in this era, and in the coming time IoT is going to take over all the things. Means in the future IoT is going to decide what the like, what the dislike, what kind of thing that they will do in the future. So each and everything is going to be decided by IoT. Now in this slide, the term is one term, that is ubiquity. What the meaning of ubiquity? This is the first word behind the IoT network. Ubiquity. Ubiquity means communication via mobility, computing via mobility, all kind of computing, all kind of communication during the mobility. And a device is going to change their location, their baseline location, and communication and computing is not going to be affected. Like in cellular network, we are moving from one place to another place by the mobile phone, by the bike, and we are using mobile phone, and easily the communication is going on, communication is not going to be disturbed. So ubiquity is the term that is actually come in existence in year 2000s, and in this term it is decided that via the mobility, during the mobility, if communication is going on, device is going to change their locations and the communication is not going to be affected, it means the computing devices, the network is follow the rule of ubiquity. And ubiquitous network is purely wireless network. It is not wireless. It is purely wireless network. Like cellular network, Bluetooth network, Wi-Fi network, Zigbee network. All the network are ubiquitous network. So the researcher and scientists, they started to thought, okay, if it is possible by the mobility, the devices is going to be connected and they are computing and they are communicating, then why we are not going to connect the physical devices? Why we are not going to make a separate network of physical devices? So the better human network going to be established, going to be made. Better human networks. All kind of services is going to be integrated on one platform. So behind the terms of ubiquity, researcher, they thought for IoT network. My main responsibility to discuss machine to machine communication. It is one of the biggest domain of IoT. Biggest domain. Machine to machine communication means without human involvement. One machine communicate to another machine without the involvement of human. Strictly, not 100%. Strictly, human is not involved between the communication of the machine. So it is one of the fascinating attribute, fascinating domain of IoT, and this is going to change our living life in the future. All kind of communication, like if suppose I am using the IoT tag in my hand, and IoT tag is going to monitor my vitals, my blood pressure, my heart rate, my all kind of vital is going to monitor by the IoT tag, and it directly send the message to the doctor. If somehow something is going to went inside wrong in my body, then doctor detect the thing is going to be not proper. Machine is not going to take the permission to make your vital is not okay and you are under dangerous situation. Machine check the vital and whatever the reading he got, he transfer the reading to the doctor machine. And doctor machine transfer the result to the doctor, and once the thing is not okay, then doctor come at my place and start the treatment. So it is one of the important domain of IoT network, machine to machine connectivity. We will discuss this thing separately in the subsequent lecture today. So IoT enabler, the majority of time we are using in shopping mall, we are using everywhere RFID reader, RFID tag reader. That is one of the essential component, one of the important component of IoT network. And this time IoT is also uses in nanotechnology. The scientists of nanotechnology, they are using the concept of IoT. They are making a IoT network by means of nanoparticles, and they are using that particular network for better treatment of chronological disease. And these things, sensor, this is building block of IoT. Building block of IoT. Sensor is the building block of IoT. The IoT node होता है the sensor of the IoT node. IoT node contains one part of the sensor, and in the mid it contains some of the processing element, and here is the actuator. So basically sensor is going to sense the environment and sense the data. It takes the data, it used to generate the data. All kind of input device we are using, all kind of input device have responsibility to generate the data, to make the data. And we know data is a raw fact. So it is very important question. We are saying data is a raw fact. How the data is generated? Data is generated by input devices, all kind of input devices. Like I am recording my lecture, so camera and microphone, they are input devices. They are generating data. They are recording my voice, and my voice is going to be stored in the memory. Similarly, we are capturing the photograph while moving the various restaurant, various tourist place, and various. We are taking photograph. So many data we are generating. So this time data is one of the important thing, and we are generating data day by day. Data size is going to be increasing. So initially we are talking about the data, then we start to talk about structured data and structured data. Then we come to bulk amount data, that is big data, and finally we come on cloud. So that is separate kind of discussion. But here in IoT network, three important technology are integrated in IoT node. One is sensor, middle technology, that is processing element, and at the end actuator. Sensor used to sense the environment, sense the data, generate the data. Processing element basically proceed the data, and whatever the result is generated by the processing element, that particular result will be taken by actuator, and whatever the result actuator got, it perform the action. Actuation means output device. It is used for performing of action. Action means suppose we are using solar panel. Solar panel responsibility is what? Solar panel sense the temperature, and temperature converted into electrical energy. So temperature is sensed by sensor. Temperature sensor sense the temperature, and meantime of some of the processing element are used over here. That processing element convert the temperature into some meaningful word and some intermediary form, means electrical energy form, and actuator transfer that particular electrical energy onto the wire, electrical wire. So IoT node contains sensor, processing element, and the actuator. Actuator means the output device. It use it is dedicated to perform the action, and sensor is dedicated to sense the data, to generate the data, to make the data. So here I have discussed the two important terms, that is, first is ubiquity and second is sensor node. Sensor node is the basic building block for IoT network. IoT network. Without sensor, IoT network is not possible. We know much about RFID, nanotechnology, and smart network. So that particular thing is possible just because of IoT node. And IoT node take various kind of IoT node we have. Now, as already discussed with you, all of you, here the Internet of Things. Here the Internet of Things is a network of physical objects that contain embedded technology to communicate and sense or interact with their internal state or external environment. Means internal state is sensed by sensor and external environment is acted by the actuator. And how the physical object, how the toothpaste converted into a IoT node by mean of embedded technology and by mean of information technology. Embedded technology means it's an integrated version of embedded system as well as information technology. By mean of these two things, every physical object is going to be converted into a IoT node. This is actually main thing of IoT node is embedded technology. This is important. So few things is required for IoT network. First is IoT network must be efficient. Efficient means for what purpose IoT network was built. That particular purpose 100% completely fulfilled by IoT network. Means I have built the IoT network for monitoring the terrorist activity at LOC. Suppose several kind of terrorist activity is going on in the country, LOC and LOC. So for that, researcher and scientists, they have built a IoT network to monitor the terrorist activity at the border region. They deploy the sensor at the border, and whatever the activity is going on the border side, sensor sense the activity, transfer the particular data to the actuator node or processing element, and once the soldier and the army man found if anything is going to be wrong to there, then they take the action accordingly. So efficient means for what purpose IoT network is built, for what purpose IoT network has made. That particular purpose completely fulfilled by IoT network. IoT network must be scalable type. Reason being, we are as already discussed it in the coming time. Right now we are using 9 billions of IoT node, IoT physical object in the network. But in the coming days, more than 20 or 30 billions node we have a plan to convert into IoT network. So suppose I have to add some IoT node in the network. After the addition, the performance of the node, performance of the network means computing time, throughput, response time, delay latency, that is not going to be affected. Scalable means we are going to increase the size, instead the performance parameter is not be affected. One of the important thing that is associated with the IoT network, that is unambiguous naming and addressing. It is one of the very challenging point and very challenging things for the researcher for the scientist and for the industry purpose. Right now we are using 9 billion, and in coming time we have to use 50 billions or 30 billions physical object for IoT node, for IoT network. But here, for successful communication inside the network, we have to assign a unique physical address to all the computing node, to all the node, and we have to assigning policies of physical address. One is IPv4, and another is IPv6. IPv4, actually we know it is 32-bit long, and IPv6 it is 128-bit long. These two different conventions we are using for the assigning of addresses to all computing devices. If we are using IPv4 kind of system for unique assignment of physical address, it means we have only to the power 32 addresses, and we want to make 50 billion IoT node to become the part of network. So it is not possible. By IPv4 it is not possible to make a IoT network. And if we are using IPv4 technology for assignment of addressing of IoT node, it means only few of IoT node is going to be converted into a IoT network. Means this particular convention is useless. And in IPv6 we have to the power 128 addresses, so we can use this particular convention right now, but after some time this thing is also going to be obsoleted. So it is one of the biggest challenge for us for unique assignment of physical address to all computing node, to all IoT node. But up to this time the thing is going on by some kind of hybrid technology, by some kind of renaming technology. The thing is going on, but after a while, after a year, after 2 years, once the size of IoT node, IoT network is going to be increases up to the billion and millions and billions level, then this convention is not going to help. But we know very well, for successful computing, for successful communication, every node of the network should have the unique ID, unique address. And one of the important characteristic of IoT network is abundance of silicon. Majority of time, 90% of IoT node is not in active state. They are not in active state. Reason being, after a while, after some time, if the node is not in the using position, then node automatically go up to the sleeping mode, just because to save the battery of the node. Reason being, the sensor and the actuator and the IoT node have the limited battery. So after 1 day, after 2 days, it automatically discharge. And if continuously work, if they are working continuously, then they have a lifetime of 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes. So meantime, if the node is not in the active position, then automatically it is went into the sleeping mode. Means they are in the disabled position. Once the interrupt will occur, then automatically they come in the action and they come into active mode and they will start the function. So we have abundance of sleeping characteristics of IoT network, and one of the important characteristics of intermittent connectivity. Intermittent connectivity means the node is going to be the part of one network. Suppose we have two network 1 and network 2. So meantime all the node is a wireless kind. So meantime, if any particular sensor node move from this particular network to this network and network 1 to network 2, and there is no disturbance of computing. If Node is going to change their position from one network to another network by mean of naming, by mean of addressing, by mean of IP masking, computing and communication, and the purpose is not disturbed. Node, they are going to change their location and purpose. For what purpose they have designed, for what purpose they are working, the purpose is not going to be disturbed. Purpose is remain unchanged. The intermittent means node have a permission to change their network location, and if the node is changing their network location, after changing, computing, communication, connectivity is not going to be disturbed. Intermittent means they have a permission to change the network positions. From one network they have a permission to jump to another network, from another network they have a permission to jump to some another network. So network, they have a permission to change the network. We know the network of network is known as internet. Network of network is known as internet. Means we are making a small network, and finally this small network connected to another small network by mean of router and by mean of gateway, and further this small network further going to be connected some another small network, and finally all the things is known as internet. So capital I internet, this internet is basically the network of computing device, computing device, and IoT, network of physical object. IoT means network of physical object. That is IoT. Computing, and this IoT we are using for advanced level of services. This internet we are using for general kind of services. Advanced kind of services means we will discuss in subsequent time. But IoT is the network of physical object, and capital I internet is the network of computing device. For both purpose, we want the unique address of the node of the computing of the network of the machine. In every cases, we have to require the unique address. So here we have discussed some kind of fundamental things like the purpose of IoT, and IoT is efficient, IoT is scalable, IoT is having the associated architecture. For IoT we required some kind of naming convention, some kind of addressing convention, so that the communication and computing is not going to be affected. And in IoT the important characteristic is intermittent connectivity, means the IoT node they have a permission to change their network locations. So it is one of the important thing of IoT network. Just a moment, I will be moving forward. Here. Right now IoT, as per application point of view, the IoT network 40%, 41%, 40.2% IoT networks are applicable, are in the using of businesses. The market share of IoT is 40% of IoT network, means in various kind of businesses, number of peoples, they are using the concept of IoT network in the business policy. So we have a statics 40%. We have a statics 40% of IoT networks are the part of business, manufacturing and business. 30% are the part of healthcare, means majority of hospital, majority of doctors, majority of ambulance and whatever the thing is required in the healthcare, they are using the concept of IoT. And retail means supply chain, in general market, all the things, 8.3% of IoT network are going to be used, and 7.7% we are using the IoT network in security, like surveillance, CCTV camera. So they are also the part of IoT network. So for the security purpose, for the record keeping purpose, for the marketing purpose, for healthcare purpose, so we have the statistics, and this statistics is actually I got from Google. So we have a statistics of IoT market share. This time IoT is more of the high class, smart class of businesses. IoT is the essential component, and in smart healthcare, IoT is also the essential component. We will discuss the thing in the subsequent time. So this is the market share of IoT. This is the market share of the IoT. As already I discussed all the things, like about 40.2% IoT IoT is actually is by business 40%. Is actually used by the business. For what purpose? Analysis of supply chain and equipment, robotic machinery. Means what the thing is required in the business strategy, is the business policy. So that thing is justified and decided by IoT network. So 40% of business complication is justified by IoT. And for patient monitoring, health monitoring, and electronic record keeping, pharmaceutical safeguard, and so many kind of thing, like for ambulance alert, for paramedical staff alert, for doctor alert. So all the things is actually managed by the IoT network. Portable health monitoring means if suppose any kind of mishappening is occurred, so IoT network is automatically detect the mishappening from the roadside, from the camera. Suppose there is an accident, so automatically IoT network, IoT node detect the accident and automatically send the signal to the doctor, and doctor get alert, and automatically ambulance will come to the accident place, and whatever the thing is required, that is subsequently is going to be happen accordingly. So this is one of the important, and this is one of the application area of IoT network. In the case of by the mean of IoT, a lot of changes in in healthcare sector. Lot of changes in healthcare sector. Telemedicine concept. And the thing is one of the important thing, that is electronic record keeping. We forgot to keep our sample record, our blood record, means pathology record. But by the mean of electronic technology, by the mean of IoT technology, all kind of your reports, all kind of things is automatically recorded in the database. And if anybody want to search the 2-year record, last 2-year record, it can easily available. But by the physical, if suppose I want to access my pathology report of previous 2 years, then it's not possible to keep all the physical paper in the file. So IoT is going to be make a significant effect in the case of healthcare system. In the retail, IoT is also playing a significant role. Inventory tracking, smartphone purchasing, anonymous analysis of consumer choice. Means we are watching, we are seeing in the shop a lot of customers, they are coming and they are just wasting their time and the shop time. They are wasting the resources. So for IoT network, with the IoT network, they can automatically detect the sentiment of the customer, and once the sentiment be found, if this particular person is not going to be purchase anything from the shop, then the shopkeeper and the boy are deputed over there. They are not going to entertain the customer. So this is anonymous analysis of customer choice is also actually one of the biggest thing and one of the important thing, and this thing is actually going to remove a lot of complication in inventory. And no doubt we are using IoT in the security purpose, biometric security, facial recognitions and remote sensor. So this kind of thing we are using this kind of thing, and IoT no doubt going to change our living life in convenience. IoT is going to become one of the important and vital part of our life. Like before 10 years, if somebody is saying you are not using, before 10, before 20 years, when I completed my BTech and once in year about 2002, and that time mobile phone is not was very popular, and mobile phone, few of people they are using mobile phone. And right now, if anyone is saying I am not using mobile phone, that is majority of people they are watching and they are thinking how he is not going to use the mobile phone, smart mobile phone. Means without smart mobile phone, no one going to be survive in this time. Similarly, after 10 to 15 years, without IoT networks, nobody is going to be survive. So the thing is, as I discussed to all of you, sensor is the basic building block of IoT. Sensor for IoT network, we want at least sensor. Sensor is the basic building block of IoT. Without sensor, it's not possible to make IoT network. Once we have make the IoT network, then we can use this particular IoT network for smart healthcare. Any IoT network become the building block of smart healthcare. IoT network become the basic building block of smart vehicle. IoT network become the basic building block of smart city. IoT network become the basic building block of smart medicine. So IoT network become the basic building block of various kind of things, various kind of society requirement things. Similarly, sensor is the building block of network. Any smallest unit of IoT network is a sensor. Without sensor, it's not possible to make the IoT network. Once the IoT network we have established, we have made, then we can use IoT network in healthcare, we can use IoT network in vehicle, we can use IoT network in smart city, we can use for IoT network in dust. So as already I discussed to all of you, what kind of health related services they are going to be integrated by the IoT network. Means ambulance, means medical college, means paramedical staff, means doctor, means ICU, NICU, whatever the thing that is inside the medical college is required for the treatment of the patient, it required, whatever the thing is required for the patient, everything is integrated to IoT network. So IoT network is actually change simple medical college, and it converted the simple medical college into a smart medical college, a smart system. Smart means, the term of smart is basically, we have the term of smart just because of IoT. Smart vehicle means automatically diagnose the problem and automatically correct the problem. If the problem is not going to be corrected by the system automatically, then the problem is going to be informed to the user, to the owner. So smart vehicle means the thing automatically diagnosed, the thing automatically corrected. If somehow, if the problem is not corrected, then it informed to the owner. So smart vehicle. If someone steal my vehicle, then it IoT node of the vehicle automatically send the messages to the owner. At this time, the location of vehicle is this. So smart means the thing going to be part of IoT. Smart city. Smart city means whatever the services of city, like Nagar Nigam services, Jal Nigam services, electricity services, transport services, garbage collection services, sewerage treatment, everything is going to be integrated to the common platform and that platform is a IoT. Means Nagar Nigam, Jal Nigam, transport, weather forecasting, everything is going to be integrated into a common network. That network is going to supervise, that network is going to be used by the citizen of a smart city. If suppose if anyone to move from one place to another place, then he asks to the IoT network, there is a congestion to the road, to this particular path or not. And IoT network immediately reply to the person, this particular path have a congestion, this particular path is a free. If there is a, suppose there is a garbage, there is a kuda on the way, so IoT sensor automatically send the message to the Nagar Nigam that this side having a lot of garbage, lot of problem, lot of kuda, and you have to send your vehicle, you have to send your gadi to there to collect all kind of garbage and come back. So this is possible just because of IoT network. The thing is going to be converted into a smart by the IoT. IoT is one of the important technology is going to be the part of us in the coming days, and without IoT no one going to survive in coming time. Without IoT is actually essential part to our living life in the future. Now in the future we have to use the IoT. Without IoT it's not going to be possible to survive in the future. So where we are using right now in the modern day, in this day, where the IoT is actually applicable, where in what the things where we are using the IoT technology in smart parking, in structure health monitoring, noise urban map. So these are the application of IoT network for parking of vehicle, for health keeping, for designing of urban cities, for smartphone detection, traffic congestion, smart lighting, waste management, smart road, river flood management, smart grid, time monitoring, photovoltaic installation, water flow, everywhere, whatever the societal requirement, everywhere we are not using. Indians they are not using the IoT up to that level, but in UK and USA and other countries they are using IoT up to the vital level, and they are much satisfied. So IoT is actually this is the application area of IoT. This is the application area of IoT. Okay. So in this diagram, the picture is saying millions of sensors, trillions of sensors, trillion of sensors, billions of smart systems, and millions of applications are going to be integrated into a network, and that network is the IoT. This picture is saying the basic building block for IoT is what? Sensor, smart system, and application. So by these three things, your IoT is going to be come in the action. A smart system application, trillion, billion, and billion. We are not talking about in 100 or 200 or 300. We are talking about trillion, billion, and millions. So for IoT, millions of, trillions of sensors, billions of smartphones, and billions of applications are put together, and that thing is known as IoT. Now this is actually the application area of IoT also. We are using for connectivity purpose. We are using just a minute. We are using cellular phones, Zigbee, RFID, Bluetooth, radio networks, 6 low-band, and cellular, LoRa. So these kind of actually they are the connectivity channels. So by these particular connectivity channel, one IoT node going to be connected to another IoT node by the mean of cellular channel, by the mean of wireless channel, by the mean of RFID channel, by the mean of Zigbee. So IoT node going to be converted into a IoT network by mean of this connectivity channel. After converting into a IoT network, where they are applicable for health, they are applicable for transportation, they are applicable for agriculture, banking system. So many applications area we are using the IoT network as we have discussed. So these are actually the enabling technology of IoT network where they are applicable. IoT technology is also applicable in the smart sensor network, big data, artificial intelligence field, simple network field, deep learning and neural learning. So these are the applications area of IoT network. These are the application area of IoT network. We have discussed much about the IoT network, how the IoT network come in the action, how we build the IoT network, and how the node is going to be simple node going to be converted into a smart node by mean of embedded technology, by mean of information technology. And once we make the IoT network, then where we can use the IoT network? We can use the IoT network everywhere, in business, in transportation, in house, in bank, in agriculture, in record keeping, in medical, in deep learning, in big data analysis, in simple network, in artificial intelligence, in deep learning, in neural network. Everywhere we are using IoT. Everywhere we are using IoT. So I have a responsibility to discuss the important topic that is machine-to-machine communication, and as already informed to Alif, as already discussed with you, in machine-to-machine communication, IoT network, IoT node, they are communicating to each other without the involvement of human. Strictly you can say there is no involvement, there is no intervention of human, there is no involvement of human. IoT network have also the related technology of IoT network is a cyber physical system. Means we know in the computer network, in internet, we have a huge problem of cyber crime and cyber attacking and cyber kind of things. In IoT automatically it's having a smart characteristics to automatically detect the cyber attack, and it automatically prevent the cyber attack. So some kind of IoT network is actually built for this purpose only. And we are also using web of thing. It is also the part of IoT. Means here we are making the network of physical object. Here we are making the network of webs. So that particular network, we are making the network of web pages, we are making the network of web technology. So that network is known as web of technology. So this is enabling and baseline technology of IoT. Enabling and baseline technology of IoT. Now, IoT versus machine to machine. It's actually having a small difference between machine to machine communication and IoT, but machine to machine is actually part of IoT. So we are not going to make the clear cut differences between IoT and machine to machine. Machine to machine is actually machine to machine communication. Machine to machine communication between machine and devices. This is the condition for machine to machine communication. Means IoT node communicate to each other, there is no involvement of human. Okay. So that thing is actually possible by mean of cloud computing infrastructure, by mean of data changing, information changing through various kind of infrastructure. Means machine, they are communicating to each other to each other without using of without the involvement of human being. So that is machine to machine communication. We will discuss that machine to machine communication in subsequent time in detail. But in this slide actually I collected over here, just highlighted the important and fundamental things, how the machine to machine is going to be communicated, how the one machine is communicated to another machine by means of computer network, by means of internet, by means of cloud computing infrastructure. So they have to use some kind of intermediary infrastructure to transfer the data, transfer the IoT packet from one node to another node. So machine to machine is actually one of the domain of IoT network, one of the part of the IoT network. IoT is the bigger, broader scope. However, IoT has the broader scope than machine to machine. Means IoT has this particular domain, and machine to machine is one of the part of IoT. This is IoT. IoT has the large domain, and machine to machine has the small. One of the part of the IoT. And there is nothing except to this discussion. IoT and machine to machine is one of the part of IoT. Like web of thing is also one of the part of IoT. CPS, cyber physical system, is one of the part of IoT. Similarly, M2M is also one of the part of IoT. One of the part of the IoT. In this slide, I have actually discussed about the concept of web of thing. Here, web of thing. Here, typically speaking, the various applications layer of the they are going to be integrated by means of IoT network, and the thing is possible by wireless sensor network, RFID. And once we are going to connect the various kind of web technology, web kind of thing into the network, so that is known as WOT, wireless of things. WOT, wireless of things. The web of things. Web of things. In technology, web pages, they form a separate network, and that is WOT. It is actually one of the important discussion of IoT module. So we already discussed here we have IoT. So one of module of IoT is M2M, one of the module of IoT WOT, one of the module of IoT CPS. So they are the part of IoT actually. So by this we have to come to the end of the lecture. So after a small quiz, we will discuss the second aspect of M2M communication. Anyone have any particular doubt, let me know. And one thing that I already remain, and it is I already this is important. So I'll be communicate this particular slide to all of you. Actually, by the concept of IoT, we are making a network from people, and that network is known as Internet of People. And we are using IoT technology in industry, that is known as synthesis technology. Industry related IoT network is known as synthesized network of IoT for the industry. And in this in this network we have to use robot, we have to use scalability concept, we have to use workflow concept, we have to use virtualization concept, virtual reality concept for making a smooth and proper functioning of industry's activity. That is, the thing is known as synthesis. IoT network who is the part of industry only, that particular network is known as synthesized network. And once we are making the IoT network for environment, so that is known as Internet of Environment. And once we are generating the IoT network for cyber physical system, that network is known as autonomy of wireless network. And in case of machine to machine communication, and this has the possibilities of scalability, and it is also known as scale computer system, scale architecture. So they are actually part of the IoT. In IoT have the bigger domain, as already discussed, is contain IoT, it contains IoE, it contains synthesized attribute, and it contains CPS system, and it contains end-to-end system, and so many things are also the part of IoT. So this is value-added courses, and if you people showing interest in this course, definitely we are going to launch a trending topic and important topic that going to make your future sharper and sharper, and it is going to helpful to you people more and more in coming days. So we will request to the organizing committee members, Halima Sadia and Ashish sir, to organize such kind of value-added program for the student, so that student get more and more benefits. So we have a plan for such kind of things in the future. For connectivity technology, like in the simple network, there we know local area network, wide area network, and computing node. Similarly, in IoT network, we have IoT LAN, we have IoT WAN, we have IoT node, we have IoT gateway, we have IoT proxy. So the same convention that we already used in the simple computer network, the same kind of convention we are also using in our IoT network. And here in this slide, the same thing is here: IoT LAN, IoT WAN, IoT proxy. So IoT LAN means every computing system, every IoT node here, every IoT node have the logical address, and they are connected to each other by means of some communication channel. The communication channel is wireless, not a wired. They are actually connected by this particular arrow, but this is wireless communication. And here LU is matlab logical unit, local unit या logical unit address. So every computing node have their local unit address, and they are connected by means of router, by means of gateway, to convert the IoT LAN into a IoT WAN. And similarly, IoT WAN is further going to be increased to the internet by IoT proxy. Means application kind of services is possible by the IoT proxy. Application kind of services is possible only by the IoT proxy. So by this I'll be end this particular lecture. Subsequently, after 5 to 10 minutes, we will start our second module of discussion. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you very much.